Hello and welcome to another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. I'm Wayne Highlander, Director of Sales.
I'm Rob Johnson from the Bona Training.
How are we doing, Rob?
I'm doing really good.
Good.
Really good. How about yourself?
I can't complain, Rob.
That's good. I mean, I'm very glad to be back in my warm house, Wayne.
You are?
Yeah. Did you? I don't know if I told you what happened. Did I tell you what happened?
No.
About 2 weeks ago, Pauline and I were clearing off the supper dishes.
The what?
And supper dishes, the plates. Clearing the table.
Supper? Who says supper anymore? Okay, but go ahead.
Well, in Boston, we say supper.
Okay.
So maybe that's why you didn't get it.
That was it.
Yeah. So we're clearing off the dishes, and we hear this massive explosion, and the house shook. I grabbed her, and then boom, power went out. So
Damn.
I was like, my first thought was Pauline has been driving me crazy to have gas installed, natural gas.
Yeah.
We're all electric and oil.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought we just had it done a couple weeks ago. So I'm like, looks like I was right. Huh?
Yeah.
Hope none of us die. Hope we can get out of here. Had a huge explosion, and I was sure it was the gas. Went downstairs, everything was fine. It was a huge windstorm. You probably had it. It was a Tuesday night, huge wind and rainstorm. I know it was up and down the coast and everything. Well, it took out. We have like 100-year-old tree out front, and half of it split and fell.
Oh no!
And just the weight of that tree. I mean, the house shook. My neighbor, he came over and he goes, "What the hell was that? It's just pitch black out." He goes, "My house is shaking." I go, "Yeah, same here."
Wow.
But when it came down, it tore everything off of my house. Literally tore all the wires, the wires that connected, it tore everything down. Everything was out, and the wires were ripped off of the pole too.
Gosh.
Call the power people. They're there in 1 hour. They were there. Imagine that.
That's fantastic, man.
1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
They're there. And then 2 hours later, he told me, "Sorry, nothing we can do for you. You got to call an electrician."
Oh, wow.
So call the electrician. Anyways, we're not going to get power that night. Pauline goes to bed. She goes, "Well, I'm going to bed, and I'm able to stay here tonight."
Mm-hmm.
Thank God for Hilton Points. That's all I can say.
Oh, okay.
1 week we stayed at the Hilton. We were out of the house. We were out of the house for seven nights. So anyways, I get back the next morning, I go, well, I'm going to go look at the damage, and I hear all these alarms going off in the house. Now, I know a lot of people have asked me how the basement turned out.
Yeah.
A lot of people, right? The whole basement fiasco, right?
Yeah. How did it hold up through all this?
How's that going to hold up through all this, right? Because the floods are in. Well, the 5-inch alarms are going off. When the water gets within 5 inches, these alarms start going off, and you're about to be flooded out. So now I'm like, I didn't even think about any of this. And then I'm thinking, I got to go get a generator. I got to keep these pumps running, or I'm screwed.
It's a powerful head of household right there for you.
Exactly. Yeah. I can't believe you just said head of household, okay? Because now I'm thinking, had to be a lot of people like me who went out and got generators, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then just as I'm about to go get a generator, I remember Pauline bought one 2 years ago. And all I did, I couldn't have been meaner to her about buying it. She didn't ask me.
Yeah.
She's just hanging out, doing her thing, sees on QVC, these generators are great. You got to have one in case your power goes out, blah, 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 blah. and she buys one of these Sun Pro generators.
Okay.
Sun Pro. For you people at Sun Pro, keep listening. A propane generator, and I did nothing but be an ass to her about it. Really? You're spending $600 just on your own? You don't ask me about anything? When have we ever needed a generator? Ever. We've been here for 30 years. You got to stop watching QVC, wasting money, wasting time. Well, what am I going to do with a generator? Where am I going to put it? I was the biggest a-hole in the world for days about this.
Keep going. I'm feeling pretty good about myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I thought, oh, I think I have a generator in the shed. It's still in the box. Put it together, set it all up. 1 hour, the alarms are off, and Pauline saves the day.
Oh, be darn.
Pauline's generator saves the day. Now, remember I told you how upset I was with her?
Yeah.
Because she paid $599 for it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Do you know what the generator's selling for today?
No.
$899.
Wow. Beautiful.
So I spent the next week filling propane tanks. I had a couple kerosene heaters going downstairs, kerosene heaters, propane tanks. Long story short, now that the long story's over, we're back in. I've got power.
Yep.
Insurance covered everything. So we're good to go. But another public service announcement. If your wife buys a generator, just give her a hug and say, good thinking. Okay.
There you go. Good stuff.
Good. Yeah.
So you were in this hotel for about a week?
Yeah, a week. Yep.
Have you ever been in a hotel when a family's been staying there for about a week? Like you're in there for a day or two, and then you realize that one of the families in one of the rooms next to you has been there for about a week or longer?
No. No.
And you see their kids come down to the breakfast in the morning in their pajamas, like they're in their own freaking house. And the mom's in a robe.
Yeah. Pauline wouldn't. One day I didn't want to go down there like that, and she's like, "No, I gotta get dressed."
Yeah, you know you're in the wrong hotel when your neighbor's been like they're living there. Like you open their, like you see through there when they open their door, they got a microwave in there, and they've got like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Their own basket of clothes.
Yes.
All right.
I haven't been there, but we were having the kids come over to go swimming and everything, so it was a big party for them.
Well, we're going to talk about adhesives eventually here today, I promise. But I have to, since you brought this up, I have to bring up one thing first. Are you familiar with Sorel boots? Sorel. Sorel boots. They're made
Sorel
in
boots. No, I'm not.
They were founded in Canada.
I'm writing it down.
Oh, please do. Sorel boots, founded in 1962 in Ontario, Canada. I'm going to tell you something about these boots. I bought them at least 30 years ago, and I just replaced them last week. Okay, 30 years. Have you ever have something so good that you take it for granted? Obviously, it sounds like Pauline from your last story. Sorry, it was there.
That's all right. You had to. No, I get it. Yes.
These boots are so damn good and they're the most comfortable snow boots ever. I every time I go fishing, I have them on. And I told my wife, I said, hey, you know what? It's time to get a new pair of boots. And I said, I like these lasted so long. Why wouldn't I get another pair of them? So she went on Amazon. And she found basically the same style of boots. And you'd think that they last 30 years, they would be expensive, but they weren't. And they're as comfortable and 30 years out of a pair of boots. You'll never buy another pair of boots. And while she was on that site, she found a pair of really comfortable, like designer boots, like all the several of the girls at her yoga class admired them, and they ended up buying some. So just a shout out to them. I mean, like I said, they're headquartered in Portland, Oregon now, it looks like. I looked them up. But they have all different kinds. I thought of them as just snow boots, like, serviceable, but not necessarily, fashionable maybe. But now they got all kinds of different boots on there, and they're fabulous. So I just 30 years, whatever.
That's unbelievable. 30 years? Are they
Yes,
still in business?
yes, they are. It's like they're in headquarters in Portland, Oregon. I looked it up, but that's
So if you
amazing.
find folks at Sorel Boots or SunPro Generators happen to be listening to the show, uh, Wayne and I are up for some contract negotiations or something. But SunPro Gen today's on the floor is brought to you by SunPro Generators and Sorel Winter Boots.
You know, there's you take, like I said, when something's that good, you take it for granted. Um, I think probably the biggest things we take for granted in life, I would say probably the number one is time. I think until you don't have any time left, I mean, you take time for granted. As you get older, you realize it a little bit more. I think your health you definitely take for granted. That's another thing you take for granted, and your happiness and success. I think we take all those things for granted. We're always looking for the next best thing. We're always, we don't, stopping and smelling the roses is something that so seems like in today's world is so no one does anymore because of time. I mean, boom, boom, boom. We're so moving all the time, doing things. But so anyhow, when I cut that and I started thinking about these boots that I've worn time out, time in, and time again, and every time they've been reliable, and I've never had any problems with them. I just thought, damn it, I'm going to say something about them. So I was impressed with them. So
You get a
anyhow,
lot of snow in Tennessee?
we did. We had a pretty good snowstorm, but I got these up in California when I used to hunt in Idaho. So these boots have taken me from Idaho all over the West Coast, California, and fishing there in the wintertime actually gets cold up
You
north.
hunt?
I did at one time. I don't hunt
Really?
anymore. Yeah, I used to hunt
I didn't know
up
you
at,
were a hunter.
oh yeah.
What'd you hunt?
For deer. Well, actually when I was a kid I hunted for squirrels. That was my first passion, is hunting for squirrels. And then rabbits. And then moved on to deer. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, all right. Adhesives. I got a call the other day. I was reminded of this call just a few days ago. I want to say it was probably about 3 or 4 months ago. I got a call from a really good customer of mine, and it uses our adhesives, Bona adhesives, my adhesives. Um, and he had a project coming up, and he said, "Here's the specs and everything on this project, and I have to go over this particular product and this particular foam, whatever. Can I use your adhesive on it?" Now, if you work as a sales rep, every sales rep has had a call similar to this. He's a good customer. He uses your product. It's a big job, and you really want to say yes. You want to use your product, right? But I had to tell him no. That nope. This is going to be it's a bond breaker. It's a deal breaker for us. So he goes, well, I'm going to have to go with one of your competitors. No one likes to hear that, right? But it was the right call. And I, it's just the way it is. If it's not going to work, it's not going to work, and you don't want to get anybody in trouble. And I got a call a couple days ago, and the job failed. Okay, and it's a lesson to, I think, any sales rep that's out there, that man, you need to do your homework on your products and what have you, and you certainly don't want to steer a customer in the wrong direction, and you don't have to win every battle, but it's a monumental failure with a lot of money involved.
Mm.
So I guess
How long did it? Let me ask you a question. How long did it take to fail?
not very long, because it didn't bond. It was incompatible. So super good contractor who did his due diligence. He did his work. He called. He did everything the right way. He called manufacturer. He did everything he was supposed to do, and he was given some bad advice. So I guess
Let me ask you another question. The company you went with, are they backing them up?
I don't want to. It's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a struggle for him. It looks like it's going to be a fight. But I think in the end he's going to win because he did everything. He did everything right. He asked the right questions. He got everything, documented and everything. So I think he's going to be okay. But
I want to add a little to this. The reason I asked how long it took to fail is between schools and tech line and just contractors that I've met through the last, over 20 years, I get lots of calls, and you get the same calls. Will XYZ work on this? Will your products work with this?
mm-hmm.
And, a lot of times I always want to say, yeah, oh yeah, I know guys who have done it, yes, it will.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the times I'll tell everybody it might, but don't do anything until you do your own testing.
Yeah.
Test for compatibility, test for adhesion, test for, are you going to get a solid bond, right?
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of times that people just kind of blow that off. And that's why I asked when you said, how much is this going to, how long did it take? That could have been something that somebody slapped down on whatever they were doing. Come back in 2 or 3 days when everything is going to be completely dry, and then do a test.
Yeah.
I just can't stress enough. I know people use, they're mixing vendors all the time. Somebody stain, somebody seal, or something, whatever. We know that guys do it, but we can't tell you, yeah, it's going to be fine. All I can tell you is you got to test it. Do your own testing,
Well, in this case, he was given the green light that yes, we are compatible. You're good.
Wow.
But
Crap.
But to your point, one of the most interesting things when I became a sales rep, and for you and I back along a different life, a long time ago, a different company, whatever. One of the most surprising things to me is I would get questions asking, if I did this, would it work? And I always think I spent my whole career trying to do things the right way. I don't know what's going to happen if you do it the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's probably not going to be good. So if the instructions say, don't do this a certain way, blah, 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 it's good that you call. I think anytime you have a question, you call for sure. But when people ask me that, I always think, I don't know, because I've done it the right way. I truly have done it the right way my whole life. I strive to. So you see that says right on there that we don't want you to do that. So if you're asking me what would happen, it's probably not going to be a good thing. So
people can get pretty frustrated when I tell them, look, we don't test with other people's products. I'm really sorry. That's why Bona has complete systems: stain, sealer, top coats, adhesives, moisture mitigation system. That's why we have all our own, so we don't have to say, yeah, go use this guy and use this for this and that for that. That's why we're a full system, machines, paper, everything, soup to nuts. So everything's going to be compatible.
mm-hmm.
It's when they start mixing these other vendors. But I can tell that people get a little pissed off sometimes when they're on the phone when I say, geez, I don't know. We don't test that product,
Mm-hmm.
And I've had so many people go, well, you should. And I'm like, well, okay, thanks. I'll send the boss an email on that. I'll send that right over. But
well, in some cases, there's like thousands of different. You can't now test for everything. It's just not realistic to test for everything. And I get it. On one hand, I do get it. I know you're up against it. Sometimes guys are up against it, and they're looking for solutions and what have you. Like I said, I never mind people calling. It's good to read the instructions. Although I have learned when it comes to the internet, never Google anything about health issues, and ask Google, because you could have just a simplest thing, and according to Google, you're going to die tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
I'm losing my legs.
Yeah. Why is my leg tingling? And by the end, you're reading the article. It's like, well, they're going to amputate it if it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
So
quick call a lawyer. I need to make a will.
Yeah. But anyhow, through your due diligence, in question, you can always test, always ask. For sure. But Yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm getting at so what I'm telling you this is that as a rep, I mean, the responsible thing to do is stand by whatever your specs say. The specs say what they say for a reason, and sometimes you have to say no. And like I say, we don't have to win all the battles. Sometimes we're not the right one. And so anyhow,
Is there anything harder? There's nothing harder than telling a guy, "I'm sorry, I don't think you should use our stuff."
that's tough. And the other
That's a tough one,
it is a tough one. And the other thing is you don't want to let people down. You don't want to let
right?
people down. And I hate to hear about a failure as much as anybody does. But that's just, it is what it is. So also, I wanted to talk a little bit about vertical because I am hearing so much about vertical lately. I've talked about it before, but we just did some recent testing. I felt really strongly about this, and I asked our technical department to do some testing on how well it holds compared to our competition. And we've had 4 different manufacturers we put vertical up against on the shear strength. First of all, on the timing of how fast it sets up and it actually grabs, and then when it does grab, the shear strength. And we'll post that, but we won't. We're not going to say who the manufacturers are, but
Oh, come on, let's say.
I believe I'd love to, but man,
Just
holy smokes!
say their names with the word that rhymes with their name.
I would like to, but I mean anywhere from 300% stronger holding power in one case to about 80%. I think the closest one was like 30% difference away from us. So it really is a phenomenal product. I would like to say with vertical, if you use it, just it is a little tougher coming out of the caulking gun. Just don't buy a cheap caulking gun. Buy a better caulking gun. It'll work great. It's amazing for the first rows. Yeah, I mean, you'd be thrilled with it. It works fantastic. For stair treads and risers, it's amazing. Sets up super fast, but it holds incredibly well. That's a bit of a sleeper product from us. Look, we probably are the lowest margin product. We don't make a lot of money on that, but it's a damn good product. So that one, don't overlook that product. I'm just the more I hear about it, I'm just thrilled with it. So
It works on plastic, doesn't it?
Phenomenal. We did some on the LVT stair treads, man. It ain't coming off. So that's
so like Flow and A51 do not work on plastic.
Yeah. So
that's why they're in a plastic bucket, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
So that's that's a no-go for silane adhesive. That's it. To your point, that's why it's in a.
Can you hear her screaming in the back?
Oh, I think we all can hear her screaming in the back.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Hey, are you kidding?
Is this?
Give her some candy or something.
Are you at daycare?
Wayne is pissed. No, that's just one kid.
Wow, it's amazing.
She gets crazy sometimes.
Wow.
We brought her to Luke's basketball game last night.
Yeah.
When she heard the crowd screaming,
she's
a year and a half.
Wow.
She doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't even know she's at a basketball game.
Yeah.
She started screaming like everybody else. It was hysterical. We couldn't keep her off the court. She wanted to get out on the court and run around with the kids. It was a riot.
You should bring her to Oppenheimer, the movie.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, the movie that's out there about the atom bomb. Real quiet movie, really.
Just to clear it out. Yeah. Well, let's get back to the reason I asked if it was, I think I might have already told the story on the show. That it sticks to plastic, as Pauline said, we got a leak on one of the pipes in the basement. So I went down, I looked at it, and I was like, oh man, something moved and the pipe split, and every time it would move, the crack would open up, stuff would drip. And I did exactly what you said. I went out because I was using a cheap caulk gun, and I'm so strong.
Yeah,
me
that
personally,
hand of yours, yeah.
That just crushed. I mean, I bent the whole gun. So I go, oh, Wayne's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went out and bought my first real expensive. It's going to change your life, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Go out and buy one of these caulk guns, because how many cheap caulk guns you bought in your life?
Yeah. How many?
Two a year,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
2 a year, exactly. I'll never have to buy another. I thought, this is sad. This is the last caulk gun I'll ever have to buy.
Yeah. Well, you're aged.
Right, my age, like my father-in-law said, I don't even buy green bananas.
There you go. What the hell is going on in your basement anyhow? Leaking pipes, leaking floors, the walls.
Walls. Oh, and you know what? It, knock on wood here, it's never been drier.
Well, that's good. All
So
right.
I'm down there, and then Pauline's like, gonna replace the pipe, and I go, no. I got new Bona vertical and a brand new caulk gun.
There you go.
And she's like, you're gonna put wood floor glue on it. I go, trust me, it works for plastic. Plus, our adhesives are natural moisture barrier. I'm giving her the whole spiel.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't think she looked at me for hours.
Yeah. Practice.
Let me tell you, best damn repair ever down there.
No kidding.
Yeah, I'm not saying go
Nice.
out and become a plumber with this stuff, but it's kicking down there. Made me look like a champ.
Nice. Good stuff. Yeah. It's relatively speaking, it's not very expensive. Stair treads and risers, man. Holy smokes, man. It is just a sleeper product for us. So I just want to talk about it again. The last thing I'm going to talk about too is the R540 on, if anybody that's doing LVT type floors, these floating floors, you're seeing more and more of these edge curling calls and mold claims and that kind of stuff. The 540 is a great solution for those floors. I know a lot of people are, they'll tell you put 6 mil plastic down. Well, one, have you ever heard the 6 mil plastic when you walk across them floors sometimes, rattling underneath it? And the 540 does a much better job. So, and on a nail down, if you're not using adhesive and you're just doing a straight nail down, you only need to wait about 45 minutes or an hour or so, and you can take off nailing the floor. So good stuff. The LVT actually has been good for us. The LVT claims and issues and problems and everything with the 540 is, you see I know I sent you a couple of reports lately on some of the claims that were out there. The 540 has been really good for us as a deterrent for that. So, yep.
Have you had any, I know we had talked about gift cards before and the issue I had with gift cards.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I remember. Yeah. There's someone stole the money out of you.
Yeah. Do you know there's another thing going on with gift cards?
No.
Yeah, gift cards have changed a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. I had an American Express gift card,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Now let's say you get a gift card for $100, an American Express gift card for $100, right?
Yep.
And then you spend 70 and you got 30 left on the card,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well, the new deal now, the old days, let's say you go in and you spend $50 and you hand them that gift card, and then they say, hey, you owe us 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hear how we're doing the math now, correct?
Yep.
Okay. They don't do that anymore. They don't do that anymore. Now, if you get $30 on that gift card and you spend 50, they decline the gift card.
No kidding.
You don't have enough in the card to cover this.
Oh, wow. That's messed up.
Oh, yeah. This is all new, right?
That's terrible.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. So now you have to tell the people, here, I have a gift card with $29.82 on it.
Mm-hmm.
You need to put $29.82 into your register, whatever, however you do it. Well, guess what? You know how many people are trained on how to do that?
0.
Like 2
Yeah.
out of the country.
Yep. That's
So
messed
if
up.
American Express thinks that I'm going to throw a gift card away because it only has $1.92 on it, I'm not going to do it.
No.
I'll find something for $1.92. Okay, they're not gonna do that to me. They can do that to everybody else, but they ain't doing that to me. Think of how much money they're gonna make on gift cards where people are like, there's $3 left on it, throw it away, because you can't throw it at somebody now and just go through it.
You got to use that to your advantage, though. You remember how you said you used a gift card or you registered it and then you went to buy it and someone had already taken the money out of it?
Yes.
Here's what you do. You get a gift card for $400. You go out to dinner with your wife and you buy something for a $379 dinner. Okay. Nice dinner. Okay. Anniversary.
Yeah.
There's $21 left on the card or whatever. You give that card to someone else for Christmas. It says $400 gift certificate to that restaurant. Let them go out and eat. Find out there's only like $21 and go, oh, see, there's a scam going around and someone got you. That's a shame. It looked like you were a high roller giving them $400 gift certificate. Now they're stuck with a $400 bill. But
this is why you and I have to do this show, okay? Because I was about to tell everybody, do not buy gift cards for people. Get something else. Don't buy a gift card for somebody.
But now you see the light.
You, on the other hand, you see, that's the yin and the yang right there. That's it. That's why it keeps on rolling, baby.
All right.
I gave him a $400 gift card and it didn't work. That son of a gun.
That's awful.
What are we going to do? Well, we'll look into it.
We tried. Yeah.
Hey, I did want to mention to you, you don't really have an official adhesive rep up in Canada when I'm doing the schools up there. So the guys up there, they're good. The TMs who are doing, where I was doing schools with, last week I was working with Nico. Man, he did a fantastic job. And I was shocked how many people were talking about flow in the class.
Yeah. It has been phenomenal for us. I mean, like I said, we never wanted to change 851, R851. That's been our workhorse. We don't want that to change, but this has been so well received. It was exactly what I was hoping for, Rob. I mean, and basically it's the same product. It just pours out of the pail, trowels out so much easier than a lot of products out in the market. And so to be able to do that and have there's a lot of adhesives that will pour out and that are easy to trowel. I always say, man, I am as transparent as you can get. I want you to look at the specs. I want you to look at the technical data sheets. I want you to look at the comparisons, because if that's all that mattered, that it was easy to trowel, well, shoot, that's an easy one. But easy to trowel, holds the ridges, excellent. I mean, phenomenal.
Well, the other thing that even a kid had mentioned to me in Canada, he goes, I was shocked when I read all the specs that we don't lose anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't lose anything compared to Quantum.
That was the years and years of why it took so long to come out. That was right there. But I mean, I couldn't talk about it for years. I was going back and forth with the chemists and everything, but I am so stoked about it and everything. And I think it's going to be the future, no question. So no, thanks for asking. I think it's going to be great. Yes, sir. And what else, Rob? What else is going on with your life? We talked about the R540 and the LVT. We talked about vertical. We talked about flow.
We talked about gift cards.
Yep.
I talked about my going through customs.
Yeah.
They asked me new questions at the border this time.
Oh God, here he goes.
New question, never asked me before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever been arrested for anything?
Really?
Yeah.
Why would somebody ask you that?
She asked me. I handed her my letter of introduction, my passport.
Mm-hmm.
she says, "Where you going?" I said it, blah, blah, blah. And then out of the blue, she goes, "Have you ever been arrested for anything?" And I laughed. When she said that, I started laughing. And she looked at me, she goes, "What's so funny?" She was serious. "What's so funny?" And I go, "Me being arrested, my wife killing me." She started laughing, gave me back my stuff, and I got to go.
Nice.
But I've never been asked that before. Have you ever been arrested?
Should have said, how much time
Next
you got?
time I'm going to say, well, nothing to brag about. You know.
Yeah. Well, I know I never got caught.
Ever convicted? No.
Or is it why? What have you heard?
If that wasn't one of the greatest lines in the movie Stripes, have you ever been convicted of a felony? Convicted? No. No, never convicted.
All right. Well, look, Rob, I appreciate it. We actually, our next podcast we have coming up after this, I'm excited, kind of excited about it. We won't talk about it now, I guess, but
let's tell them what the next one's about.
Yeah, well, let's tell them what the next one's about.
Let's tell them what the next one's about.
What is it about?
Bona Net.
Oh, okay, beautiful. Bona Net, sanding abrasives. You damn right it is.
Yeah, we got the net, baby. Welcome to the net.
All right, this has been another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. Please stay tuned for another episode.